British Prime Minister Theresa May has had a pretty tough day. She, of course, is facing a no-confidence vote in Parliament as MPs target her for her very unpopular Brexit deal. Let's get the latest now from our UK correspondent Olly Barrat. Olly, no doubt Theresa May waiting in anticipation.
That's right. The voting has just wrapped up in the last 15 minutes or so. So the votes are now being counted. And as you say, Theresa May waiting, like the rest of us, to hear exactly what has happened. In terms of public declarations from MPs today, before the vote, and some of them coming out of the vote having voted, we're up to 180 odd who say that they were backing or were going to back Theresa May. Now that would get her over the line. That would mean she survives this confidence vote and could remain in post. But the margin of victory, if it is to be a victory here, is going to be absolutely crucial, because if she is just sneaking over the line, that represents a really divided party with dozens and dozens of MPs on her own side who are still essentially against her and wanted to remove her. So we will watch in the next 45 minutes or so for the result, not just whether she has survived, but exactly the margin of victory if she has.
And if she actually does survive, Olly, it seems like she's protected for the next year or so?
That's exactly right. The technicalities of the Conservative Party rules say that she can't be challenged by her own MPs for the next 12 months. It doesn't get her completely out of the woods, as I say, because she will still find it hard to get legislation through the House of Commons, even if some of her own MPs don't go along with all of her policies, given that her majority is so small. She'll still find it very hard indeed to get a Brexit deal through the House of Commons without some of those changes that she is seeking at the moment. There's also the possibility that at some point in the not too distant future, the opposition Labour Party could also level a vote of confidence in the government. So there are various ways that Theresa May could still come unstuck, but you're quite right that over the next 12 months it would mean that her own MPs wouldn't be able to bring her down in this manner.
So let's talk a bit more about the Brexit deal. We know that the EU has told Theresa May they're not willing to renegotiate. We know that the UK Parliament is not happy with the deal. Where does it leave it now?
Well, before she went into this vote and before the Conservative MPs went to cast their votes on her leadership, she spoke to them. And we understand that she told them that she was seeking and believed that she would get some legal clarifications which were legally binding on the crucial backstop issue, which is to do with the border between Ireland and Northern Ireland. Now, if she can bring that back, then a lot of MPs in her party who up to now have not supported her might be able to start thinking about going along with her in terms of her Brexit strategy and getting her Brexit deal through the House of Commons. But it's a huge ask because, as you say, the Europeans have been saying all along, we're not reopening these negotiations. The deal is done. So it's a case of whether she can get those assurances and legal clarifications from the Europeans that satisfy her MPs to the extent that she might be able to get this deal through Parliament. It's a huge uphill battle for her and probably, if anything, more complicated than this confidence vote we've seen today.
What's the mood on the ground? How are people feeling about what's happening in Parliament today?
You know, a lot of Conservative MPs themselves today have been saying that this whole leadership potential contest, leadership challenge is self-indulgent, and some have described it as childish. Now, and I think there are plenty of voters who feel that they've got those descriptions just about spot on, and that at a time when the Prime Minister is trying to deliver a Brexit deal, there's a lot of squabbling going on both sides of the House of Commons about the major parties' direction of travel when it comes to Brexit. A lot of British people do just want to see a Brexit deal done. They want people to stop talking about Brexit, frankly. They're bored of it. They want to be out the other side of this divisive debate. On the other hand, of course, there are people who are passionate about Brexit who feel Theresa May's deal is not quite right, and there are people who are passionate about remaining in the European Union who obviously feel that Theresa May is heading in the wrong direction as well. So it remains a deeply divisive issue. Today remains a deeply divisive day for the Conservative Party, but also the population at large.
All right, thanks so much for that. Appreciate it. Olly Barrat in London.